God, I am hungry!
What's good, Tano, and welcome in another Atlas video. This is the second video on the Capathon, taking every Warframe to level cap every time with different helmet ability. Previously we did Warframe Advanced, this time we're taking it with a different helmet ability. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay of Atlas against level 9199 steep path enemies in Warframe. If you did, like and sub for more content, and after you watch the video, leave your feedback in the comment section below. Let's get started. Now Tano, before you build anything in Warframe, always make sure to check Warframe Wiki. Tons of information in there the game doesn't tell you until the E decides to connect Warframe Wiki within the game information. We can tab through the information so new players learn straight away all the details, all the tricks, all the tips, all the bugs, and veterans improve their builds because they can dig deeper on the details. Now, before I build anything in Warframe, I always use my method DVS. D how I deal damage, V how I proc viral, S how I strip enemies armor. If you don't like my methods in today's video, how I proc viral and armor strip, you can check this sheet right here. It can help you maneuver around my methods to find your own style. As in Warframe, you can do things in many different ways, but the result's always the same. The reason we go to level cap to showcase for you the performance, because enemies scale on EHP, effective hit point. The higher level they go, the more HP, the more shield, the more overguard. So I want you to see how that build performs at enemies prime level, and if it kills enemy at prime level, it can kill them in any level below. It will be piece of cake, like slicing through butter. Now, also we go to level cap as enemies scale on damage output based on level. Also, when we are in a squad, enemies EHP is higher, and that's very important, and especially also at level cap, more Eximus units spawn and so on. Let's go. As always, we start with Atlas Kit. His passive: become immune to knockdown, effect while on the ground. As long as your feet on the ground, you're good, you don't get knocked down. But if you jump, you start maneuvering around, you are vulnerable to knockdown. So you need to understand that because it's very important later on the build. Now, the passive is not just that, and tell me DE how a new player would understand and know that there is a whole rubble passive and augment without checking wiki. And this is why I ask DE, please connect Warframe Wiki within the game. Now, rubble is a pickup unique to Atlas that drops from petrified enemies. Petrified enemies is an enemy that they are normal and then they become frozen like a bulk, okay? That they become in that status using the petrified third ability. They freeze into like some sort of stone. When you crush them, they become a little rubbles that you pick up, and your companion can pick them as well with vacuum. Also, if your fourth ability companion, which is stone companions, die, they drop rubble as well. Now, rubble restore health to Atlas, which is good, helps our build today. If he injured, if Atlas is full health, rubble instead grants additional armor that decays over time. Each petrified enemy and each rubble will drop one piece of rubble that restore 50 health or provided 50 armor. Rubble will remain on the ground for 30 seconds before crumbling away if it left untouched. Enemies petrified by the path of statues augment, rocket, petrified flash, and the summoning of rubbles are eligible to drop rubble. Petrified enemies killed by landslide, the first ability, grant 75 health and armor from their dropped rubble. Rubbles that sustain damage to their health will grant less health point or bonus armor from their dropped rubble. Rubble will not grant armor if at least one health point is missing from Atlas maximum health pool. Exceed health point gain will not overflow into bonus armor point. Rubble armor displayed in a circle gouge on the HUD above that. There we go. There, right there, above the compressor, prime, Azoris, and so on. The circle with the stone right there. So yeah. Now it got an augment called the Rubble Heap. When above 1400 rubble, landslide costs no energy, deals 2x damage, and travels 2x faster. Now, because the rubble decays and it is a bit hard to keep up, depends on the game mode. Now, for example, if you play an exterminate or capture mission or void cascade, you're moving constantly from location to location. So I feel this is not really the best in slot when it comes to augment, even though it's very powerful and awesome to have, but you cannot keep you 1400 rubbles because you're moving from area to area. But if you're playing some mission like long, to say, defense, maybe some survival, something like that, you can keep up with 1400. So you need to understand how to place your stuff in your build. Now, first ability, landslide, and this is his exalted weapon. Now, bash enemies with an explosion, sliding punch, repeat up 3 times for a combo attack. Each hit in the 3-punch combo increases the radius of the attack. Energy cost is reduced with each hit of landslide. Install mods on the landslide. Fists, which is the exalted weapon, to boost stats. Now, it got an augment, and please DE one day make some fix or some update where we can check the augments inside simulacrum, okay? Because I have them linked in here in my chat. So, path of status. Landslide augment. Leave a trail for 12 seconds that petrifies enemies for 6 seconds. Now, this is really good augment if this is your style where you landslide, leave a trail, petrified enemies, you go back and you hit them. So you keep going back and forth, forward, backward, picking up the rubbles, petrifying enemies. You understand the point of this augment, right? So, and this is your landslide right here. We're gonna see it later on the build. Tectonics. Summon a bulk rock wall. Activate again to send the rock crashing forward. The enemy bulwarks attacked by enemy release an area of effect / powered by the health it has lost. It is okay. It's not bad. Low to maybe early mid game, but mid to end game it is a no-go, and it's not what I would like to use. It got an augment called Tectonics augment. Creates tectonic fracture. Create up to 3 walls with 100% health. Walls can no longer be turned into boulders. Now, first ability, really quick. There you go. Boom, 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 boom. That's that. Second ability. There you go. Now, if you hold it, there you go. Simple as that. It is the ability what you want to replace for Helmnith, and again, Wiki will tell you more about this than the game does. Petrify. Atlas hardens gaze will fossilize foes, increase the damage they take, heal rumbles, which is the fourth ability, and creates petrified bulwarks when shattered petrified enemies drop healing rubble for Atlas. We talked about the rubbles already, and let me show you. So if I press the third ability, you'll see already they become frozen like a stone, okay? And now if I kill these frozen guys, all right, boom, I get my armor because my health is full. Simple as that. Now you can see it's decaying slowly. That's why I said when you're playing a game mode that you move constantly from location to location, the petrify will be running off, and that's not good. You need something like stationary to play. Now, it got an augment called Or Gaze. Petrifies enemies are scanned into the codex and have a 95% chance to drop additional loot when killed. This is really good if you are going towards scans and if you're going toward extra loot. Something like, you know, Korra, Necros, Hydroid. He gives a drop chance and some of that sort. Now, the Rumbles, the fourth ability. Summon 2 elemental stone brawlers to the melee, summoning petrified enemies in close proximity to Atlas. When finished rumbles collapse into a pile of healing rumbles. So when they die, they give you rumbles. They got an augment called Titanic Rumble. Create a single rumble with 300% health and 400% damage. Reactivating will cause him to slam the floor and knock enemies in 15 meters. Now this would be an amazing augment if your Titanic Rumbler would increase on EHP based on enemies level, and then we can talk about that in that manner, or maybe we can mod him also for damage reduction, more armor. He's moddable and scale on EHP, then maybe we can talk about it. Next augment called Rumbled. Atlas become a rumbler with rock armor that grants overguard and absorbs up to 300% of damage to max health. This is a really good if you plan on using overguard, and we're gonna talk about that later on the video. And here is the fourth ability. You're using the fourth ability and you'll be summoning the rumbles right here. They will be attacking those enemies, and if we use the augment really quick, right here, Titanic fracture, not Titanic, this one right here. Right, let's max it out really quick. Boom, 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 boom. Now we will be summoning there you go. See that? That's your big guy right there. Okay, Now, I hoped he's moddable and he can scan with EHP, then we can maybe talk about this guy even further, because I really like it and I think it's very unique and amazing summon that's very good. The other augment, which I think is very interesting and depends on your style and what you trying to approach, is very strong, which is Rumbled. Rumbled, check this out. Now, you don't summon anything, but instead, look at that. You got your overguard. Now, if we impose the enemies, now when you get overguard, you are not, you can't, like, say, get knocked down because you can't jump. The reason I don't like this augment, because it limits my movement. I can't jump, I can't move. Yes, it gives me my overguard, and I just can't. Understand? The casting speed is not that fast. I mean, if DE fixes that we can move normally, then yes, maybe I would consider using that. But for now, let's say secondary fortifier arcane on a secondary weapon will perform even better. So, how you play Atlas? It's very simple and easy. Summon the 4th Rumbles and then use the 3rd ability and then just spam the 1st ability, and that's all about it. And your companion will pick up the rumbles from the floor, and you start collecting all that stuff, and that's pretty much it. Now, if you jump, you are vulnerable to knockdown. If you are on the floor like this, you're good to go. Rinse and repeat. That's pretty much it. Now, at this point of the video, please try not to skip, because I know a lot of channels that already watching the video in the future, watching the build, and they're like, I don't think this should be there. I think that's it. And they skipped all this part where I explain things. So, 2 Emerald Dark Shards to push the stacks of corrosive from 10 to 14, as I will be using a primer to proc corrosive on enemies. Simple as that. Now, the primer will have a viral as well, so this is the primer we're using: compressor, corrosive, heat, magnetic, and viral. But it is optional, as the landslide is really powerful, so you don't have to strip, you don't have to proc viral from your compressor priming enemies. You don't need any of this. It is optional. Optional in the meaning to increase your damage to enemies' HP and to strip enemies, lowering their damage reduction to deal higher damage. Also, magnetic on your primer will increase the damage against shielded enemies or overguarded enemies, aka Eximos at level cap. So, the way it will work is simply like this. So, you're using your compressor, petrify enemies, and then like this. Petrify, boom. See that? Boom. Boom. One tap, boom. 5 million. Boom. That's easy as that. And that's the whole plan of using that. Alright. Now, comes the next. Tau 4 jumper shard for casting speed. Now, 1 casting speed is more than enough. The second one is overkill, but I think it is good to have 2 of them for fast casting. His kit is a bit slow on casting, and I really like it. Now, Violet Archon Shard for melee critical damage. When energy max is over 500, the damage boost is doubled, and we will be above the 500, of course. Now, another thing you need to know, that on Compressor Prime you will see something here called Carnage Stinger. Killing an enemy with a heavy attack reduces enemy accuracy against Warframe by 10% and grants immunity to statue effect for 2 seconds. Now, heavy attack, when I mean with heavy attack, if you are, in a way, okay, you are getting, let's say, slide, but then you decide in the middle of the game, you change your playstyle, you pick up a glaive or any heavy weapon that you pick up with you, and you decide to just like, throw your glaive, heavy attacking, and all that kind of stuff. Alright? And that will be available for you. Also, in Zoris or any heavy attack or any glaive you want, it doesn't matter the weapon here, Life Strike. 20% life steal on heavy attacks to heal yourself. Okay? So, moving on. Now, the Atlas Prime build will be like so. Now, we did before the Wrathful Advance and so and so. Now, this is the persistent build. As you can see, we're running 1000, let me double check here, 1820 health. That means, with Arcane Persistence, remove all shields. If armor is above 700, we have 1400, and that's very important. The specific amount is very important. 700 cannot be hit for more than 500 damage. Doesn't matter how much enemy hit you with damage, it will be 500. Magnetic statue and apply ability nullifying effect disable this protection. Okay, so if a violence spawn near you, he will disable persistence. If a nullifier bubble near you, it will disable persistence. If you get proc of magnetic status, it will disable persistence. And if you get a heat proc or corrosive lowering your armor, it will disable arcane persistence. For heat, since heat, what it does, it halves your armor. If you have 1000, become 500. If you have 1400, become 700. And that's the point of having 1400. So when heat procs, you have 700. So persistence still works. And that's one statue out of the way. Now, since 500 per second, we have 1800. That means we can take up to 4 hits. 3 will be survived and the last hit will kill you. Now that's very important to know, as you have 3 seconds to heal yourself and do something about it. That comes rolling guard if you find yourself stuck in anything around you. Now, rolling guard on dodge, rolling means become invulnerable for 3 seconds and remove all statue effects. Will come in handy in many situations. Violence spawn, the fire comes in and you be like, oh my god, what I do? Roll guard. Simple. Now, Umbral Vitality, Umbral Intensify, Umbral Fiber, the 3 dragons right here will play a huge role on your health, armor, and strength. Very important. Now, Steel Charge in here. Squad receives 60% melee damage, which is amazing. Affects your first ability. Prime Sure-Footed is the debate here. Now, Prime Sure-Footed, I would say this. If you're playing low to mid game, you don't need it at all, ever. Also, if you're playing low, mid, end game, but you always on the ground, you don't need it at all. But if you are like me, you like to jump, bullet jump, jumping here, moving there, it may be a nice overkill protection to have. But the problem with Prime Sure-Footed is a login reward until DE one day decides to put it on Baruki Please, DE, please. Alright? Until then, you can either take it off or you can use, in my opinion, the best one is the... where is it, my friend? I need to type. Handspring. Handspring is your friend and you be good with it. 160% faster down recovery. Or use the normal Sure-Footed right here and you be good until you get the login reward. Okay? Please don't go in the comment section stopping the video. You didn't hear what I said and you're like, oh my god, Sure-Footed, he's aiming you. Please. Now, we got Flow. Flow will give you enough energy so we can spam and use our abilities, which is obvious. Energize here for energy, obviously. Then you got your stretch for range. Right here, as you can see, the fist punch, second punch, third punch, it affected by ability range. Now, the augment is what we're gonna talk about here. Now, Rubble Heap. If you're playing a survival mission, as I said earlier, something where you keep in the same spot, killing enemies, getting your rubble, this is a go. If you're not gonna do that, you have an option to use Rumble. Rumble will give you the overguard, immune to everything, and then you can take down Sure-Footed. Okay? Rumble will give you the overguard, you're good, but you cannot move freely. But at level cap, enemies will one-shot your overguard, so probably they one-shot it, you just move away, you cast it again, and you can play in that style if that's what you like. Then, you got the Hearty Nourishment. Clear statue effects when you apply Nourish, because Nourish is our helmet ability we use in the day for the energy as well, and for the viral if you don't plan on using a primer. So, Nourish for viral, you can use your operator Uniro to strip. You see here what I gave you. I gave you like a lot of play style in one video. Now, if you don't like that and you're playing low game, you can use the Titanic Rumbler to summon a very nice 4th ability Rumbler. If not, you can use the Path of Statue, leave a trail for 12 seconds that petrifies enemy for 6 seconds, which is really good. Plays as a CC of a style. So if I summon some enemies in here and I hit this guy, you'll see that I left a trail, this guy is gone. So if I go like so, hold on, boom, boom. Now if I just jump to that guy, the trail will be freezing the enemies that's behind. You can see that right there. Alright? It's not the best style to play, but it's option for many Thanos that likes to play in that style. So we just put this one back because we're gonna go to survival mission in a bit. Our gates, I don't know really, it is really nice. It's not bad, But as I said, I use my Necros and I use my Korra for farming that stuff and so good. Now, previously we did Ruffle Advance, increasing your critical chance, but Nourish is also a solid. Now, landing, this is his, exalted weapon. Landslide, condition overload, melee damage per set to affect the target, the priming part. Primed pressure point to increase the base damage. Galvanized steel for critical chance, mainly for critical damage. Organ shatter for critical damage. Primed fever strike for toxin. Blood rush for increasing critical chance per combo multiplier. Primed smite hurricane is multiplicative damage of the faction you are fighting. You want to switch this every time you're fighting a different faction. Otherwise, switch it with Gladiator Might if that's not what you like to go for. Voltaic Strike for electricity and statue chance. And as you can see here, we have it built with corrosive. Okay, now you can build it with Blast, as we'll be running the melee exposure as on ability cast. Gain 50% corrosive damage on melee strikes for 25 seconds, stacks up to 240%. You can use influence and make it electricity. You can go for blast. You can do a lot of things that you think the build will fit your style. Now, here we go. Let's summon heavy corrupted gunners and we go full in. Let's go. Activating Nourish, petrifying enemies, priming them, and here we go. Now we're not joking here, guys. This is the real deal. Now your question will be this: wait a second, Hank. My combo window is like fading way faster than that, and I can't do that. I will show you in a second how without Naramon I am keeping my combo duration. It's a trick. It will shock you. Alright, let's petrify them. Boom, and then shkaboom. Look at that. 75 million. 75 million. Petrify. And boom, 117 million with 12 combo multiplier. Red crits, tier 3 or above. Look at that. Boom. I mean, there is no enemy will survive this for real. And yet, you can do it without. There you go. You can just go, but you can see already the difference between DVS and non-DVS. So I'm just gonna hit them like so. You'll see I'm doing 14 million, 3 million, and so on, so. But if we use our DVS, look at that, stripped, boom, 79 million. That's like 10 times or more higher. So how I keep my combo? It's simply, if you go to your gear, your Argan, you can equip primary dexterity for 7 combo duration and secondary dexterity for 7 combo duration. You don't need to worry about Naramon at all. My companion will be like so. Cordon to pull enemies, duplex for the clone, assault to attack, vacuum for the loot, more force for more cordon, shield, armor, health, reinforced bond for fire rate, tenacious bond for critical damage if your sentient weapon has 50% plus critical chance. I use the best sentient weapon in the game, which is Verglass Prime. Really powerful stuff, but you need a Riven for it with CC. Just CC, it doesn't have to be the same Riven, as they are very expensive to get. But if you don't have a Verglass Prime Riven and you want the critical damage, you can go for Primed Laser Rifle or Volclock until you get a Verglass Riven and you be set to go. So, that's that. Now let's head really quick to Void Mode, the Tano favorite, as people think Void Mode is the right way to test things, which I think it's not. Void Mode is a low game. In Steel Path, it's enemy starting level, but a lot of Thanos likes to farm there, and so due respecting their choice of game mode and play, we're gonna go and check it out. Now, it's simple and easy. We activate Nourish as we show on Simulacrum, and then we petrify enemies and we start. Let's go. Prime them as always. Hit. Look at that. I mean, this guy is really powerful. A lot of Thanos doesn't like to play him. I don't know why, honestly. Now, one more thing I tell you why I use Primal Sure-Footed, for example, is because I like to jump and just hit them like that, you see? Like I jump and hit, jump and hit. Now, during the jump, many times at high level, you get knocked down. Now, at low level, you don't need to worry about it, you know? Really, you don't need to worry about it. Because at high level, it's just like... at low level, you don't need to worry about it, because even if they knock you down, they will not be able to kill you, pretty much. But you get my point. There you go. Now let's prime this guy. I mean, they cannot even handle priming these guys. I mean, my build is way higher level than these guys. They can't even handle priming from my compressor. And this is what happened when you bring a high level build to low level game mode. Look at that. Now, you see, I want you to pay attention to the rumbles on the right side. You see, I did it on purpose to show you when you move around, it's not convenient to pick up the rumbles. Alright? Also, when you receive all the damage and the stuff like that, you can't like keep picking them and picking them and picking them, and sometimes you forget even to petrify enemies with your second ability. Petrify this guy, and there you go, we got some stuff. There we go. Now, I hope DE one day, if they want, they would rework this to be, I don't know, just collect by itself without you need to collect anything. Yeah, let's summon the mobs. There we go. We got ourselves the free of energy, and it deals 2 times damage. So now we're doing 2 times damage to those enemies. As you can see, they don't stand any freaking chance. Look at that. Now when you compare this to, that's 111 million. Now if you compare this to level cap, I would say this is like slicing through butter. This is like a walk in the park, something of that sorts, honestly. So now at this point, you need to keep up your rumble. You don't want to lose it, especially on a survival mission, because you are in control of what and where enemies spawn if you are solo. And make sure always when you play with squad, tell them, listen guys, let's camp, because that's the style you want to play. I mean, I don't like players who keep running around on survival missions. Survival mission meant to be camp, in my opinion. Look at that, boom, boom. It's very fun Warframe to play. And I would like, after this video, to see more Thanos to play. Now, Nourish is not a must at all to play with him. He's like one-shotting in there. My previous build with Wrathful Advance, I think it will be better for you when it comes to Helmnith. Alright? Or you can use, for example, even Trinity, Helmnith ability. You can use anything that you really want. And this guy thrives really, really good. And he's not a joke. He's Atlas. His name is scary. And actually, I think when he joined the mission, the enemies should be terrified, honestly, from his name. So, I'll give Atlas, as always, 7 out of 10. Really powerful Warframe, but there is some stuff he need to be reworked on his kit from DE, but let's see what they're gonna come up with. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Atlas, and if you're going to copy this build. Special thanks to all of members, special VIPs, and this video donator, all of donations, and the viewer of the month, and the top bits, and everyone in my community. And remember, Tano, builds are based on style, and this is a build that's tested against the highest level in the game, and that's what I do. I give you builds that's tested, worth your investment, so if your build doesn't look the same, it's okay. Maybe next time, with different Helmnith ability, you will find yourself in the perfect style fits in my channel. So, join my Discord in the description. Follow me on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook page, everywhere, guys. Big love, and see you next time.